And we're live. Let's go. We're back. Whew. We're back. Username, how's it going, man? How you doing? Whew. Walter, how's it going? Go off my nose. Mezzo, Bug, how y'all doing? Whew. Finally managed to catch stream. Yes, I hope you can show up for tomorrow's stream as well, Mezzo. We're finishing Volume 4 in like 16 hours. Well, we're starting the stream to finish it in like 16 hours. We're gonna be done in like 20. But, you know, Guy, Luvion, Devil, how y'all doing? Nightwalker, how's it going? Yes, you did make it at this one, and on time, Bug. You did show up last time, but goddamn, you just finished it tonight. No, I know what I have to do, but I don't think I have the strength to do it, Bug. You know, god damn it, we're gonna keep playing Blitz. Found a new daily game. Ooh, what is it? Username Nagito. How's it going? Sorry about stream was about to be like 15 minutes ago, but we ordered food and it took. They fucking lied to me, bro. They said it would take like an hour to get here. Or sorry, they said it would take half an hour to get here. I was like, no problem. And then it took an hour. What the fuck? Wait, Nightwalker, isn't it like morning for you? What do you mean? I'm gonna be fine tomorrow, can't watch you? Aw, shit, Bullseye. You know what you should do? Become a member so that you can watch the VOD right away. Oof. Because otherwise you can't watch it for a day or 2 days. Going above me when they reach 75 XP. 6 a.m. Oh, Jesus Christ. Never mind. I apologize. Since you're playing chess, I have a question for you. If a seer played chess against a spectator, who would win? Spectator. Easy. The spectator, Letroso. The spectator would be able to guess what the results of the divination are going to be. And then they would be able to, and then they'd be able to you know, counteract that. Daily game? Yeah, sure. What is this? Find a secret word. It can have up to 10 the shape, sorry. 1 second. Sorry, give me 1 second. My niece just popped in. Sorry, my niece popped in. I apologize. Why the fuck is chat not working here? What? It's too early, so skip sleeping? Bro, you skip sleeping? It's 6 a.m. Go to... Well, no, I ended my last stream 5 hours ago. Never mind, I apologize. This is on me. There we go. Let's say sequence 4, spectator against sequence 4, seer. Oh, that one, the seer wins. Because the seer just, like, you know, sets the spectator aflame. And then they can't play their next move, so they run out of time, and then the seer wins. Telepathist versus clown in a chess match. The telepathist wins that one. The telepathist wins that one. Wait, no, I didn't get the rules. Oh, thank God. Whew. It can have up to 10 letters. After each attempt, the color and shape of the letters will help you. The letter P and E are in the word in that order, but not together. What? But not together. The letter M is in the word, but it is out of order. The letter M, P, and L are in the word. The word starts with EX and ends with E. How would I know this, though? So, okay. So this word starts with E, ends with E, and has a P somewhere. Yes? I've been putting it off. Just figured out by playing. Is that ECELYPESE? Is that, how do you spell eclipse? Fuck, how do you spell eclipse? No! It doesn't start or end with E because they aren't rounded. Doesn't start or end with E? But... Well, I'm so fucking confused. But the E is green. You can the letter P and E are in the word, in that order, but not together. Green but not rounded. So E and P. So E and P are somewhere in the word. Okay, so this doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, so F. So R is in the word. So R-E-P. This is what I know yet. R-E. How's this one? So there's two E's and a P somewhere. So what about R-E-S? I still don't get the rules. I'm gonna be completely honest. This is a fucking dog shit game. I don't even get Wordle in 4 normally. RES is together because there's no separation between the letters. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay. Who needs to understand the rules when you have such a good grasp of the English language? By the way, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Or on the background, this guy right here kind of looks like an evil version of Easy. Am I crazy? Do you guys see the resemblance? A little bit? This guy. Wiz, you're lacking. The last live I can watch is 900. I'm not lacking, Bullseye. You're not a member, bro. How is this on me? A little? Yeah, yeah, just a little bit. Whew. Yeah, we ordered Indian food for dinner. And then they said it would take a half hour, and they fucking lied to us. It took an hour. And that's why I'm still kind of eating a little bit. I apologize, but I'm hungry, so fuck you. Cause you're not alone. Bullseye, it goes up 48 hours after the live is finished. So there should be a live going live for available for you in like 3 hours. There should be another one in like 15 hours or so. No, closer to 18, I guess. Okay. Chapter 923, After Effects. So the last thing that happened is Alger and Cattleya saved the artisan. And of course, Mr. Azek made the dumb decision of staying at Undying forever. Foolish, Mr. Azek. I love you. I still love you, don't get me wrong. But you made a decision that hurts me. You could have been better. Tomorrow you're reading from 9:30 to... yes. Yes, Nagito. And then I'm taking tomorrow night off. I might even take tomorrow morning, the day after morning off. I don't even know. No, it's a morning stream, Mezzo, so it'll be in like 15 hours from now. I don't know, something like that. It starts in that time. Sealf didn't notice the change in Alder's eyes. He pointed at one of the cremated primordial moon believers and said, "That cane was taken from me. It's called Word of the Sea. It can release lightning at a target. Waving it and striking it will cause it to be augmented with wind blades." Is Azek still your favorite character after the decision? He's even more my favorite character than he was before. It's a morning stream for me, Mezzo. He's even more my favorite character after making that decision. Apart from that, it can create large water spheres and corrosive rainwater. It can also allow the wielder to not be afraid of the deep sea pressure. It can freely extract oxygen from the water, and at the same time, it can be used as a wand to provide flight. Bro, that cane is goated. There's 3 negative effects. It enjoys singing. No problem. Every 6 hours, it has to belt out a song. No problem. You know what? Don't even have to pay for Spotify Premium anymore. Love that. The resulting effects don't discriminate between friend and foe. Due to the different choice of songs and style, it can make one's mind go adrift or have one's mind and soul shocked. Goated and woaded, for sure. And at other times cause one to be irascible and in a state of lowered reason. Of course, even without waiting 6 hours, it will also be very willing to sing if you desire. Second, you can probably tell that it's equipped with living characteristics. Furthermore, it's one that's rather testy. It enjoys tripping, beating, or pulling the wielder downstairs if they aren't paying attention. This sounds like me as a kid. My parents love to remind me that as a kid, before like the age of 4, like, you know, between the ages of like 1 and 4 or like 3, you have like the physical capabilities of doing a lot of stuff, but like your mental, like your sense of self isn't on there. You're not like thinking through your actions. You're just doing shit on instinct. So my parents love to remind me that as a kid, I would just be walking down the street with my dad, and if I saw another kid coming down, like walking the other way on the sidewalk, I just trip him, or I just push kids over. Not even because like I wanted to do something. I just see him walking and be like, and then just push him. Up until like the age of 3 or 4, when my parents remind me that I got some kind of self-consciousness, and then they're like, and then you were a pretty well-behaved kid after. Love that. Why not? Well, okay, username. That's like any kid's thought process if they're like 2 years old. Come on. I was like a evil neutral, you know? I was evil not for this, not because I wanted something or anything. I was just, yeah. I was just evil for the sake of it, you know? Whatever. The resulting, no, already. Third, it will cause the wielder to be struck by lightning. Therefore, on stormy days, either don't go out or don't bring it with you. Merlin, how's it going, man? This is the sealed artifact that was made from Gehrman's ocean songster characteristic. If you were to know that if you were to know that you already made it and allowed the primordial moon believer to take it, you would be sold to someone. In the form of a characteristic, Alder looked at him. From what he knew, regardless of whether the negative effects were severe, mythical items with living characteristics were considered sealed artifacts. This was because there were unpredictable dangers associated with them. Oh, so characteristics, mythical items, if they have a living characteristic, are always sealed artifacts because they have like a negative side that can't just be taken out by the artifact or by the artisan. With Cattleya and her companion not telling him that he was done, Sealf could only continue. This short knife is called Blade of Poison. The effects are obvious. There's no need for me to give you any more info, right? Every time it deals damage, it will add on a random poison. As for what it is, up to luck. Its negative effects are basically nothing. It will only cause medical treatment to fail, and the feeling of being drunk to accentuate. Or the feeling of being drunk to accumulate within the wielder. Okay, the medical treatment to fail is bad. The feeling drunk to accumulate is like a added plus. Like, you don't even have to pay money for alcohol and you just get drunk? This is based. Sealf continued introducing the few mystical items until he heard Cattleya said, "Excellent. The rest are yours." She still left me with 3. Not only did Sealf not bear a grudge, she felt deep down how nice a person Cattleya was. Cattleya then turned to the Hanged Man. You picked first. She knew that the world had commissioned a mystical item to be made by the artisan. Therefore, the Hanged Man had to first select the lunatic's item. Alger nodded and took the Word of Sea and the gargoyle glasses. Then he indicated the rest were hers. Cattleya thought for a moment and said, "Pick another one. The rest will be mine." She wasn't... by the way, thanks, Kami. No worries, I'll do that. It's 3 a.m., so I'm going to go sleep. Yeah, sounds good, man. I appreciate you popping by, man. If you can, pop by tomorrow for Volume 4 ending. She wasn't too interested in the remaining items because she had 2 rather powerful items that suited her. She had also obtained the Luck of Scales and Judge Button later, thus covering all her bases. Under such a situation, the stacking of negative effects was something to be considered. Unless it was something extremely special, she didn't want to take a look. Of course, as an admiral, she never found mystical items too excessive. After all, she had to hand some over to the Moses Ascetic Order or her crew. Alger fell silent as for what item to pick. He then chose the Blade of Poison. Following that, Cattleya instructed Heath Doyle to move the items that Sealf had left on the ground, and the remnant items left behind by the primordial moon believers. She then looked at the artisan. Why do the moon believers want to control you? Isn't it simple and obvious? To get me to make items for them, of course. They also seem to have some plan that needs the help of an artisan. As for what it is, I have no clue. Cattleya nodded at the Hanged Man. They decided not to take away the artisan today and to leave him to monitor the subsequent developments. In other words, they wanted to figure out the moon believers from monitoring him. Queen, how's it going? How's your day? Oh, by the way, on that note, let me tell you guys. My day today was, like, might as well have not even happened. It was a fucking useless day. Between when I ended stream and when I started stream again, I've done 2 things. I ate because I hadn't eaten in the morning, so I went downstairs, I ate. And then for the next 5 hours, I spent doing one fucking thing, and then I ate again, and I'm streaming again. Like, what a fucking dog shit day. I clean and cook. My like my parents, my family, whatever. We bought a new patio set, so I spent the last 5 hours making that because that was my fucking, yeah. Like, that was my whole fucking day. Jesus Christ. Hey man, I got a lot of reading done today too. Fair enough. What are you reading, Luvian? In other words, they wanted to figure out the moon believers' plan. Actually, the Hermit and the Hanged Man, whatever the primordial moon believers were plotting, wasn't something they cared about. That still work, yeah. Agreed. They just each had matters they were concerned about. The former used it to communicate with Queen Mystic to provide her reference material for her strategies. The latter could use this matter to earn contribution points from the church. Therefore, they came to a tacit agreement to investigate. I mean, hey, got a lot of reading done there? Oh, you mean, oh, yeah, fair enough, yes. You're reading COI? Oh, nice, okay. How far along are you, Luvian? At least, yeah, I guess I did something fair. Of course, Alger always believed in a principle. The more information he wielded, the more benefit he could obtain. Cattleya then said to the artisan, "Since you're already a moon believer, taking you with me provides me with no benefit." Just started? Oh, I see, okay. Wait, so you're not that far ahead of me. I mean, realistically speaking, you're like 500 or 600 chapters ahead of me. Assuming you're like 100 or 200 chapters into COI. Sealf nodded. However, I wish to establish a long-term working relationship with you. Therefore, I need a few drops of your blood. This will aid me in finding you. Sealf wore a miserable look as his lips quivered, but he couldn't object. I've got to read more. No, Queen, stop reading. We'll just stop. Let me catch up, and then you can read again. He suddenly exhaled. Okay. With that said, he picked up a paper cutter beside him and sliced his forearm, letting out a few drops of blood. Cattleya immediately raised her right hand and gently flicked her wrist. Causing the few drops of blood to float over and fly to her. I'm gonna read chapter 1000 this week. Me too. I finished LTM back in April. Oh, that's so funny because I started LTM mid-March. March 17, I think was the date. No, March 17 was the first date that I went live. So I probably started reading like a week before that. So like March 10th probably, give or take. I might be off by like a day or two. After observing the blood in her palm, the pirate admiral asked, "What's your last name?" "June," Sealf replied. Cattleya didn't say anything as she walked out the door. The room turned quiet as Sealf sat on the sofa. You started in March and you finished in April? You finished Lord of the Mysteries in a month? Fuck, dude. Oh, you're making me feel bad, Luvian. What the fuck, dude? I thought we were friends. I've been reading for like 4 months now. What the fuck? Actually, a week or so after I started reading too. Oh, that's so funny. Sealf sat there motionless for a while, as though he was deep in thought over the encounter. 10 minutes later, he suddenly stood up and took out a small human-skinned figurine from his pocket. I finish a volume a week? Fuck you. If I can read 100 chapters a week, I'm like so happy. I was just so peak after I got hooked. 10 minutes later, the man stood up and took out a human-shaped figurine from his pocket. The figure was brass-colored, and its face was empty, blood slowly seeping out of it. Sealf hurriedly wiped the figurine's face with a handkerchief before heaving a sigh of relief. He then smiled and muttered, "Thankfully, I have this fate puppet. Let's see how you can find me with those drops of blood. Don't even think of cursing me." 100 chapters a week, would you retain anything? I think so. I mean, you can test me, Queen. I like to think that through my read-through, my comprehension of the underlying novel can't really be questioned. I'm not going to say I get everything right away, but like I think my grasp of it overall is pretty good. The masked and the hooded Alger looked at Cattleya beside him and said, after Sealf escaped from the Church of Storm, he's been living safe and sound to this day. This means he's not a fool. For him to so easily give you blood without putting up any resistance means that he has a way to avoid being tracked. Besides, he didn't mention how the Moon Believers found him either. Don't worry, Wiz. It took me like 5 months to finish it. Well, either way, you'll still finish it way before me, Merlin. Because for me to finish it in 5 months, I need to finish it a month from now. There's no fucking chance that happens. I have bad short-time memory. Like, just generally, Queen? Or just going through something? If I'm getting too proddy, just ignore the question altogether. It's all good. Logically speaking, the believers would have asked him for the origins of the werewolf characteristic, but CL hadn't mentioned Alder at all. As Cattleya took out the pair of heavy glasses and wore it, she said, it isn't used for tracking. Alder nodded in thought before bidding her farewell. I have ADHD, my memory shoddy. Oh, I see. I too have ADHD, but like my memory doesn't seem to be shoddy in that sense. My memory seems to be very selective though. If I am unbothered about a thing or I don't give a shit about it, I'm not gonna remember fucking nothing about it. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly, Queen. But I find that only happens if if I don't like a thing. Whereas like if I like a thing, I'm like, damn, I'm on it, you know? As Alder nodded before bidding her farewell, he made several detours and found a chance to remove his disguise. He then returned to the Resistance's private harbor and boarded his ship. His sailors had pretty much used most of their energy and money over the past few days, so at that moment they were waiting to set off again. "Captain, have you had dinner yet?" One of his subordinates smiled. "Not yet. Make something simple for me." "Alright, we have some fresh mushrooms in the forest today. How about I pan-fry them?" Searing a steak would do. Medium rare. Medium done. He's not having anything raw recently. He's like, fuck it. Early at night for me. Yeah, I haven't been able to fall asleep before like 3 o'clock recently. I don't know, because I've been streaming till like 2 a.m. every day for so long. My sleep schedule is just fucked. So that's why I'm trying to end stream early and then go to bed at a better time. Because I'm like, dude, if I start working and I can't fall asleep till 3, I'm actually fucking cooked. Medium done. Sonny, how's it going, man? How you doing? I grew up with that. I generally don't like red meat as a whole, Queen. I like white meat much better. I don't like red meat in general. I don't know what it is. East Balam, by the periphery of a forest, with his two marionettes, Clyden wasn't in a rush to leave. He entered a city and planned on getting some dyes to disguise Admiral Hell's mask. And before that, he had things to do. It was to seek out a helper for his exploration of Calderon. Klein was never a lone wolf, even more so if he faced danger. Therefore, unless he had no option, he would always choose to invite a powerhouse to help him. To him, being able to obtain the desired ingredient while alive was most important. I know, right? If it wasn't because I know it's impossible, I'd even wish to wait a week or two before I carry a baby or push a pram to head for Calderon, Klein sighed. He then took out the adventurer's harmonica and blew into it as Raynette Tyneker walked out. "I'm planning on exploring Calderon City soon. I've already obtained its coordinates. I'm wondering if I can hire you for help." "Won't do. I can't enter." She can't enter either. How will he enter then? The fucking Seven Lights can't enter. She can't enter. What the fuck? Are we even sure that Klein can enter? Klein should have probably asked the Seven Lights, like, hey, I can't enter, right? Completely forgot about these Seven Lights. Can't enter. The Seven Lights can't either. Is there a restriction Calderon City has on high-level creatures? But Miss Messenger does know of this limitation. Perhaps she's been there before. If that was the case, I didn't even need to ask the red light or the magic mirror. Perhaps her spiritual intuition told her. Klein then took out a gold coin and handed it to Raynette. "I understand. Thank you for the information. After one of the messenger's heads bit down on the coin, she retreated to the spirit world. Mr. Azek has entered a state of slumber. I don't know when he'll wake up. Breaking news. Gehrman has kidnapped a newborn baby. When being asked, he said he'd throw it into a dangerous place to fish something out to eat. Jesus Christ. The bullshit king of fools. Our goat, for real. Will Ossepton is about to be born, but is only just a baby. He's still at Nadir. Even if Ma'am Hermit has a way to temporarily restore his power while he's weak, it's impossible for him to do something as trivial as being my bodyguard. Besides, once he leaves Backland or showcases his level, there's a good chance that Ouroboros will lock on. Get the help of a demigod of the life school of thought through this snake of fate? Maybe that Counselor Ricardo? That'll be hard. They're going through an eternal divide. They have a lot of things to do. Queen Mystic? I don't know her that well. Besides, the fool has demigods and angels under him. A blessed like Gehrman can always find other help. Even if I claim that it's a cooperative effort, it will still expose quite a problem. The chief from the City of Silver? That could be used as a price when he makes a request, but I don't know if he can even leave the Forsaken Land of the Gods. I think I should leave this for the Bizarro Bane. Those geezers of the Sanguine? There's no reason. And it's very easy for me to be exposed to Lilith. Who knows what that goddess wants? Klein thought of one candidate after another, but one by one he struck them off. When in need, friends are always in short supply. Truer words. He couldn't help but think of setting up a ritual and praying to the Evernight, the Crimson, for strength, to seek out the blessing of the goddess. Those boomers. No, those geezers. Unfortunately, all he could do was muse over the idea without carrying it out. Although Klein was rather accepting of the Evernight goddess, and wasn't against his identity as a blessed, he still felt wary. He didn't want to rely on a deity's bestowment. If the deity was willing to give, she would naturally give it to him. If she didn't, praying was useless. Those geezers just like, goddamn. If I have the shamelessness of old Neil, I might try it. Back then, the goddess was willing to pay his debt. She dotes on her believers. He decided to change his train of thought. Maybe I can bring the Black Emperor card, Tyrant card, and the radio transceiver. I could wait at the entrance of Calderon City. As long as Nast, high-sequence beyonders of the Church of Storm, or leaders of the Rose School of Thought like Sua or other demigods rushed over, I would immediately enter that city of the dead. No, that's too explicit. Nast and other high-sequence beyonders are highly unlikely to follow me into Calderon City. They would just wait outside. Mommy Evernight. Abomination Sua might chase me, but he is an angel. He wouldn't be impeded by a thing. After repeating thoughts, Klein gave up the idea of creating chaos for his benefit. A person who trudges the edge of the abyss would fall in sooner or later. Damn, do bald vampires even exist? I don't think so, because they have a healing factor, right? So they would just regen their hair, no? It'd be like Wolverine losing his hair. Like, it just wouldn't make any sense. Imagine asking 30-pound dead thing from the Lord of Storm. Bro, he would just smite you down. He's the tyrant. I don't give a fuck. I love Indian food, but man, it is so messy to eat. Except that geezer in Witcher 3. Oh, the Unseen Elder. I got the distinct feeling he was like shaven. I don't think or that he's so old that his hair fell out. And like Wolverine and Logan, he was getting so old his healing factor just couldn't keep up. with his old ass age. Who else can provide me with help? Miss Sharon once told me that the mummy is one of the keys to her advancement. This means that she's about to become a demigod. Can Batman solo the 7 Orthodox gods? Does he have prep time? Fuck. I almost got through it. My adopted mom is a literal definition of a boomer. She's 75 from that generation. I would check if she's a sanguine. If she succeeds, I can get her to help. We've had a good partnership. Thankfully, I chose to help her, or we wouldn't have any hope today. Klein then took out a pen and paper and scribbled, "It's been a while since we last met. I wonder how you've been recently." No. Klein stopped himself. The opening was too off. Miss Sharon is a person who restrains herself. When she writes a letter, she gets straight to the point. I have to be more frank. Klein then started a new piece of it. You see, would Klein do this for a Fours? Would he be like, no, Fours is a more open. She's an author. Like, you know, she's like we need to beat around the bush a little bit. No, Klein would just get to the point. He'd be like, I need this. When can you get it to me? But for Miss Sharon, he's like, no, like, you see, she's a very straightforward person. I don't want to, offend her delicate sensibilities. See? It's Sharon and Klein every time, bro. When bro needs help, so it's been a while. How you doing? Yeah, exactly, Romero. Klein then wrote, I've already acquired the spirit world coordinates of Calderon City. If you've already become a demigod, I wish to cooperate again to receive some help. If not, there's no need to force it. I can find others. Sherlock Moriarty. After folding the slip of paper and addressing it to Ma'am Miriam, Klein then took out the adventurer's harmonica and blew it again. Ooh, this is good, because we get to see Raynette talk to Sharon again, and maybe we get more info about Raynette. Raynette appeared once again. Oh my god. Oh, good lord, I need to stop. I've had too much coke. Jesus. Klein handed her the folded piece of paper and a gold coin before saying, send it to Backland, Hillston, 126 Guard Street. Throw it into the mailbox. Okay, Raynette said. Upon seeing this, Klein pressed, you haven't lost the previous map, right? Yes, I've had too much coke. Coca-Cola, please sponsor me. I love you guys. Do you know which borough the Hillston borough is? Do you know where Guard Street is? No, I know. It's very easy to find. Klein immediately heaved a sigh of relief as he sent off Miss Messenger. I think the point of that is like Raynette saying like, I've lost the map, but I know it's easy to find because it's my student's address and I know where she lives. For all the people saying, oh, he doesn't even remember who Sharon's teacher is. Yeah, I do. Shut up. Klein immediately heaved a sigh of relief as he sent off Miss Messenger. The next morning, a man in brownish skin, light curly hair, was dressed up in a formal lone attire and a silk top hat. This was the city which mainly produced timber, rubber, and other special products from the forest. There was talk in the town that a few hair growth research centers and complementing factories were opening. Having disguised himself as a local wealthy man, Klein found a hotel to stay in. He sat in a reclining chair. Winter Enzo's skin was not only brown, but was now completely black. Jesus. How much has he fucking sunburnt this man? I thought Enzo was like a relatively light-skinned person, and now he's just kept him out in the sun all day for days on end? Alright, see you, Nagato. Together with his thin and soft, hairy, bushy brows and the dark, shadowy facial outlines, matched with the Balam baggy, creased pants. He looked like a typical example of a local servant. I'm hanging in there, sorta, but I get silly when I'm sleep deprived. I lose my filter. Admiral Hell's persona, rather resplendent clothes gave off the same style as Enzo. His exposed skin had clear burn marks, and his silver mask was now dyed with a uniform iron black color. This made him look as though he had been disfigured. After having lunch, which was served in his room, Klein heard illusory prayers. The Hanged Man. It's also possibly Emlyn or the Sun. The transaction for the vampire characteristic is about to begin? Klein then went above the grey fog. He activated his spirit vision. Klein went to the bathroom to head above the grey fog, but then he saw Reinette Heinker appear. Sharon replied, "Sorry, it will likely still need another month or two of preparation. If you still need my help by then, I'll be fine with it." Sharon, "A month or two? It's not like I can't wait." Klein nodded. "Take your time. There's no need to reply. There's no need to rush. My matter isn't urgent. I can wait. Sherlock Moriarty." He then handed that letter back to Reinette. "During wars, scouting is necessary. How can I be rash when heading to some place like Calderon City? When Sharon advances, I can head there to do some scouting and gather some intel. For example, I can figure out what restrictions are there and what kind of anomalies will happen towards the death domain. Or I can figure out if I'm able to enter by a fixed entrance, or if there's a direct way to. After confirming this, I can formulate a plan and make preparations. My melanin production is working overtime this summer. Oh, yeah. I don't even recognize myself. Yeah, same, Queen. I'm pretty tanned this summer, too. I'm like probably 3 shades darker than I should be. It's bad. I wanted to go play so much golf this summer. I have a fucking golf membership that I paid for, and I can't go out at all, because like as soon as I go out, I'm like getting sunburnt. I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, just because I paid for it doesn't mean I'm getting sunburnt for it. Fuck that. I want to stay home more. Above the endless grey fog, Klein sat in his hall. He answered the Hanged Man's sacrificial ritual and got the cane made from the ocean songster characteristic. Word of the Sea. This name, translated to Chinese, does bring back some memories. It's basically a weaker version of the Sea God's Scepter. There are quite a number of negative effects. Perhaps the mysterious space above the grey fog had naturally suppressed it, causing this Beyonder cane to not express its living characteristic. It sat there like an ordinary piece of wood. Living characteristics are rather troublesome. But on a different note, it means they can be communicated with. The dire probability back then was quite a nasty fellow, but he became obedient after getting schooled. Besides, I can always have my servants hold on to it. Enzo is pretty suitable. Although he has 0 passive luck, he's still accumulating luck constantly to make preparations. Releasing a bit of it shouldn't affect anything. Translated to Chinese, how the fuck would I? I don't know. In careful thought, the cane's pranks aren't completely useless. If I were to meet another marionettist, the Spirit World Plunderers or Bizarro Banes would lose my initiative and end up being initially controlled. My thoughts and actions would turn sluggish. It would be hard to extricate myself. But if the cane were to hit me or trip me, I would escape. If a mystical item's negative effects are used well, they can be quite handy. As for the negative effects of being struck by lightning, Klein didn't mind. Firstly, unless he was in a special region, where stormy weather wasn't exactly common. Alright, have a good night, sleep, Queen. Hope you can get to bed quickly. I know you have trouble with that sometimes. Secondly, as a seer, divining the day's weather before heading out was common. Finally, he couldn't avoid sudden flash storms. Klein could always give the cane to Enzo. Let's just hope I'm not that lightning rod, Klein laughed. It would belt out songs every 6 hours. It was a huge AoE attack. After some thought, Klein decided to communicate with the Word of Sea Cane to reduce the frequency at which it sang. I had breakfast early today. It's almost time for Creeping Hunger to start its howling. In thought, Klein removed the glove from his palm and threw it in the junk pile. Right on the heels of that, he lifted the silver-inlaid black cane and threw it over. Then he stirred some of the powers of the grey fog, creating a barrier that isolated all sound and image. He then made Creeping Hunger and the Word of the Sea spend some time alone. Is Klein trying to get Creeping Hunger to terrify the cane into submission? What the fuck? After doing this, Klein rubbed his palm and conjured a pen and wrote a divination statement. My scouting of Calderon City's periphery is dangerous. The topaz was standing still and not spinning, meaning the divination had failed. Klein and his sealed artifact abuse? I know. They don't have any characteristic rights organizations. I was thinking of like human rights organizations, but they're not humans. So characteristics rights, I guess. But damn if they did. Klein would be like their #1 enemy. Klein would be like the fucking Stalin or Hitler of those fucking organizations. Preaching or singing, my lord's preachings will always win. There are no laws against sealed artifacts back, man. I said my rule is I don't kill. I said nothing about permanent brain damage. You ready? Calderon City's actual situation is a secret to the entire spirit world. The divination even lacks a starting point. I can only trust what the red light said. The danger around the city's periphery isn't that bad. Besides, I have my marionettes. I can let them go first and confirm if that place screens the grey fog. If it can, I'll give up. If it doesn't, I'll enter. Klein came to a decision and waved his hand to remove the barrier he set up. After removing the barrier, he saw Creeping Hunger, which had retreated to the side of the junk pile. It was propping itself up with 3 fingers, while its thumbs and pinkies were pressing on the back of Grozel's travel. It looked weak and could barely stand. At the same time, there was a mouth in the middle of the palm. It revealed 2 illusory white and eerie teeth. On the other side of the barrier, the silver-inlaid black cane was on the ground, twitching from time to time. Very good. Silence at last. Bro, that cane is fucking petrified. That cane is like on the verge of crying, you selfish bastard. I say that, but I also justified Asa killing like thousands of people like 5 hours ago because I like him. This is the kind of person I am, okay? I am a man full of contradictions. I feel bad for a random cane that I met like 5 minutes ago. With people dying who that it was stated that they did nothing wrong. I'm like, Isaac had his reasons, you know? I trust him. Adam, how's it going, man? After fusing with Mr. Ray, the Creeping Hunger seems to have a living characteristic, but this level of intelligence is so low. It even grazed a wind blast and is capable of short-distance flight, yet it uses its fingers to stand up. After saying that, he turned his head to the Word of the Sea cane. Aren't you a Sequence 5 of the Sailor Pathway? What kind of item are you if you can only hop on one leg? Seriously, are you so low level that you're compared to babies? No, even a baby's smarter than you. No, a particular baby is way smarter than you. Okay, that's hardly fair. That baby's an angel, bro. Klein reprimanded each of them and said, it's not like I'm the devil. Bro, you might as well be to them. What the fuck? Just as he said that, the glove and the cane who were stirring froze. Klein's subsequent words were left in his throat. All he could do was pick up the cane and kindly and speak sincerely to it. After a friendly and frank negotiation, the cane used high-frequency swing to gesture that it would reduce its singing to a minimum. If it really couldn't hold back, it would inform the owner. The exact manner included, but was not limited to, trembling slightly or automatically moving up a few centimeters. At the same time, it raised a request via singing to never use the hand wearing Creeping Hunger to hold it. Of course, if the master insisted on doing so, it didn't object and was happy to accept. Bro, Creeping Hunger tortured the fuck out of this guy. Dr. Z, hey, how's it going? Good morning. Those guys were in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's their fault. I know. Azik did nothing wrong. You know, Azik was just going about his day, and he said, I can't hold back the spirit bomb anymore. And those people happen to be there. That's on them, okay? Better than Creeping Hunger, Klein thought. After taking a glance at the door of summoning, which had been produced, Klein began considering the items to bring for the scouting. Needless to say, the marionettes were going. They would be wearing Enzo's Flower of Blood and Ludwell Harris's sword, all standard equipment. In addition, Klein decided to give Enzo the Word of the Sea. As for himself, Klein planned on heading there as a spirit body. Once something was amiss, he would immediately end the summoning and return above the Grey Fog. This way, what clothes he matched was something worth considering. Azik's whistle? No, related to death. There's a high chance it might bring up anomaly. Black Emperor card or the Tyrant card? I'll be moving in the spirit world. The marionettes are basically dead. I'm not afraid that they'll have the bloods extracted. This is the question. Because if he brings the Emperor, the Black Emperor card, there's a chance he runs into Nast. And if he brings the Tyrant card, he might run into someone from the Church of Storm. What to do? What to do? You know? Good questions. Which wardrobe? I would go with Tyrant. Calderon City is a place in the depths of the spirit world, far from the Rorstad archipelago, so I don't have to worry about being affected by the believers' prayers. The only problem is that I'll become irascible and short-tempered. It'll be easy for me to look hot-headed. This is taboo when exploring. But this is easily resolved. I'll leave it with Enzo or Ludwell. Besides, the Tyrant card is very high level. It should produce a suppression effect to a degree on the Sea God Scepter. With the combination of the Tyrant card and the Sea God Scepter, I'm basically half a Sequence 4. This can then effectively reduce the risk I face. In the future, even if I enter with Sharon, I can also equip myself in such a manner. I'll get her to maintain her state as a Wraith, as an evil spirit state to circumvent all problems. I don't have to worry about the law of convergence. If Calderon City can screen the fog, I'll return after taking the look from the outside. No one will lock onto me or pursue me. After all, the spirit world isn't home ground for the Sailor Pathway. If Calderon City can't screen for the Grey Fog, and a high sequence beyond if the Church of Storm really does show up there, I can end up using him. Klein attracted the Tyrant card to his palm. Let's go! See, you guys were saying I wouldn't survive in the Lord of the Mysteries universe. I feel like me and Klein make the same decisions. A few different ones, but like I feel like my decisions, even on the different ones, would work. So like I feel like I'd be fine. Would I want to go to this universe? Fuck no. If I went there, would I live? I like to think so. Immediately following that, he fused the card of blasphemy into his soul body. No way, Klein is 5 times more cautious? Yes, I am. You know too much, you're dead instantly? I'm built different, Senta. I'd win. Just pray to the true creator. Also, you're slightly too smart to survive? Aw, that's like the sweetest thing you've ever said to me, Dr. Z. Just pray to the true creator? No, if I did that, I would die for sure. Oh, by the way, Senta, I'm not sure if you saw, but we're ending volume 4 tomorrow. So if you can show up, be there, man. Be there, be square, motherfucker. By the way, Senta, are you in the Discord? Get transported to Lord of the Mysteries universe. Choose pathway other than Seared, hard mode. Hunter, easy. A primordial moon, worst answer, Jesus. I'd love to, but I have work. Ah, fair enough. Okay. You are? Okay, fantastic. Suddenly, extreme might and terrifying auras emanated from the fool. A heavy papal tiara appeared on Klein's head, as his clothes turned into religious robes. The latter was similarly in dressing as a pope from Saint Seiya, Knights of the Zodiac. But the colors were dark blue. As howling winds sounded, the pontiff robes flared up as Klein raised his right hand and suspended himself in midair before catching this white-boned scepter. Bro, he might as well be, at least visually, he might as well be the Lord of Storms. Am I crazy? At the tip of the scepter, the gems emitted either blinding silver or blue lights, like lightning. With a thud, the Word of the Sea prostrated to the ground, right beside Klein, who was wielding the scepter. Seer acting as a tyrant. In fairness, he has been acting as a tyrant for a while. Well, no, I wouldn't call the fool a tyrant. No, I take that back. Never mind. I really do feel irascible, but I'm not that quick-tempered, Klein thought. The tyrant card could suppress the negative effects of the Sea God Scepter to a degree. Did you complete your notes? Fuck no, Romero. Haven't even started it. I'll do it tomorrow night, man. I'll do it tomorrow night, after I finish the stream. Using cogitation, Klein composed himself. Grizel's travel? This is made by Ankh-Vault, another ancient god. Based on what the little son said, Ankh-Vault was once allies with Flagrea, or Gregreus. Who knows if this book would trigger some developments? I'll leave it. Same with Azek's whistle. Priest of Light characteristic? This can restrain dead spirits and is a natural nemesis for the City of the Dead, but it's only an ingredient, not a mystical item. Don't forget adding the thing I told you. Yes. And the effects it has are rather limited, and the negative effects are horrible. There's no need for me to bring it. Klein then wore the human skin glove on his left hand, wielding the Sea God Scepter, and raised his right hand slightly. He made the world of the sea fly up and land in his palm. Following that, Klein changed the appearance of his soul. He hid his facial features within the shadows of the tiara. He slowly stood up as the dark blue robes fluttered in the wind. With just one step, Tyrant Klein stepped through the door of summoning, arriving in the real world. After adding the Fate Siphon Charm and Death Knell onto his body, Klein opened the door and returned to the living room. He got Enzo to come over and receive the Word of Sea. After some thought, Klein took out Death Knell and handed it to Admiral Hell. After doing this, he brought his 2 marionettes and relied on traveling to head for the coordinates in the spirit world. The trip happened rather smoothly. The tyrant aura made all kinds of strange spirit world creatures not dare to approach him. Klein arrived at the destination rather quickly. The scene in front of him looked no different than anywhere else in the spirit world. Tyrant Klein, of Dr. Z's worst nightmare? Oh, true. The saturated colors were overlapped, and there was some thin fog emanating everywhere. Elsewhere in the depths, pairs of eyes moved one after another. The robe's capes fluttered gently in the wind as Klein did a rough scan before getting Enzo and Ludwell to enter a blob of fog. Suddenly, his field of vision widened with the help of his 2 marionettes. A grand city of legendary proportions appeared in his eyes. The city was abnormal. It didn't develop vertically, but it spiraled deep underground. It gave one the feeling of an inverted mausoleum. Bro, is fucking Grace trying to come back too? Everyone is like, no, I become a god, I can't die. Fucking losers. God. If you are death and you die, I think you take that L. You take that L and you say, damn, they got me, and then you just die. Well, you gotta do this all, like the new death is doing all this, oh, I'm gonna take my son's soul and split it, cause fuck my son, even though he's gonna live, if I don't get to live, I'm gonna make his life fucking miserable. What a bitch. Grace is building this giant city and gets yoinked anyway. She's probably for sure dead, because the ancient dead existed after she died. So probably means she's dead for real. Like, goddamn, bro, chill. It was said that Grace had resurrection plans but didn't work. Yeah, exactly. Its buildings had a myriad of style, but they were equally strange. Some had towering pale white rock columns. Some were long and squarish. Some built into the ground. Some were built with white bones that were messy and scattered. The closer it was to the bottom of the pit, the more completely preserved the buildings were. The closer to the top, the more collapsed they were. Klein made his marionette stop, standing at the edge of the city and overlooking everything. He couldn't identify what was at the bottom of the building. The deep darkness enveloped the area as though no light had been shown inside for thousands of years. Enzo lowered his head and began chanting, "The fool that doesn't belong to this era." That whole bullshit. Just as he finished, Klein was still situated outside the city, heard the illusory pleas. He recognized it to be a man with a hoarse voice. It's the marionette's prayers. That means that the Calderon city can't screen out the gray fog. At least, the outer periphery can't. I can enter. Although he said that to himself, he was in no way hurry. He controlled Ludwell to raise his left palm and spread it open. The illusory light was emitted. Following that, with a point of origin, the area imploded, forming a pair of bronze doors. This door was blurry and extremely incorporeal. With a creak, the door shifted backwards and cracked open. Klein saw the deepest and darkest darkness. Hey, how's it going, man? You are an hour late, yes. Nares, how's it going? How you doing? Amidst the darkness, pale white color stirred. You didn't read his... The fool that doesn't belong to this era. Fuck. The mysterious ruler above the gray fog. The king of yellow and black who wields good luck. Whew. Whew. That second line almost got me for a second. I was like, wait a minute. Amidst the darkness, yes, okay, no worries. On its two sides, pale white stone columns appeared, looking extremely identical to Calderon City's interior, but were more exaggerated. At this moment, pairs of transparent eyes and indescribable faces appeared. They filled with illusory bronze doors. Oh, Merlin, how's it going, man? They filled the illusory bronze door. Klein's eyes felt a stabbing pain as he immediately made Ludwell clench his left palm. The door, covered in mysterious patterns, was pushed by an invisible force as it closed. The door that separates life from death and leads to the underworld has changed its course. It's no longer the underworld behind the door, but a core region of Calderon City, the deepest point in the bottom of the pit. Klein nodded. This way, many of the powers of the Death Domain was remade into Calderon City, causing an anomaly. With this knowledge in mind, Klein once again got Ludwell to raise his left arm. The part of his marionette's body rapidly turned illusory as dark green specks appeared as though he had turned into a wraith or specter. Oh, actually, you know what, Romero? You know what I was thinking? Who the fuck is your profile pic? Because I don't know who that is. I don't know what series or what character that is. You were here from the start? What? Merlin? Really? Oh, yes you were. Yes you were. I apologize. But you didn't speak until like not too long ago, okay? So give me a little bit of a break. Because I don't know who your profile pic is. But I also can't imagine it's anything... Yeah. But I also can't imagine it's anyone not from Lord of the Mysteries. I feel like Ramiro of all people wouldn't have anything from any other manga or thing. Not Lord of the Mysteries? Oh. Really? You? Interesting. I would not have put money on that. The left part of this... Where the fuck am I? I actually lost my spot. Hold on. Where am I? Oh, this way. Many of the powers of the Death Domain was remade in Calderon City, causing an anomaly. Looks like Wilhelm from ReZero? Who the fuck is Wilhelm? Sorry, I didn't watch much of ReZero. I don't know. The Return by Death bullshit is boring as fuck to me. Wilhelm ReZero. That looks old as fuck. I don't think so. Okay. This way, With this knowledge, Klein once again got Ludwell to raise his left arm. Praying to the Lord. Fair enough. None of my profile pics are Lord of the Mystery? Yeah, that's true, but yours are like basic, like profile pics. You know, you don't have anything like... it looks like you've spent any time picking out. You know what I mean? I was just eating. Oh, I see. No worries, Merlin. You don't have any profile pics that it looks like you've spent a lot of time picking out. It just looks like you have stock images for all of them, which is fine. I'm not judging. But, like, that's obviously a custom pic, and I wouldn't have expected Ramir to have anything else. You learn a new thing every day. The left part of this marionette's body rapidly turned illusory as dark green specks appeared as though it had turned into a wraith or specter. His arm stopped abiding by the laws of reality as it extended into the distance. My profile pic is just an eldritch girl. Well, yes, you are Nightwalker the Lustbound. You know, I would expect nothing else. My profile pic is a mysterious. Trust me. His arm, yes, already read this. The face on its mouth half open as its tongue was sharp like a snake. It was covered with white fur. In a completely surreal manner, the tongue flicked out far into the distance. It was as though it could drill directly into a human's body and absorb one's soul. The Death Envoy powers Ludwell gets from the underworld creature inside his body have mutated. Not only has it been enhanced, but it has gone from remotely extracting spirit bodies to summoning them. Clint stood at the edge of Alderon City's entrance and made Admiral Hell display all kinds of Beyonder powers in the Death Domain. The thing they had in common was that they had become much more powerful. Klein then inspected by making Enzo use the specialness of his body. Aspects in the Fate Domain are affected. Lightning Strike is suppressed, making it much weaker. Lustbound title's never gonna... Nope. Nope. This is you now. Accept it, Nightwalker. Ooh. I will tell you what Tyrion Lannister told Jon Snow the first time they met in Winterfell in, like, episode 1 of Game of Thrones. Maybe it was episode 2, I can't remember. Know what you are. Hold it close to your chest. Never forget what you are. No one else will. Wear it like armor. That way it can never be used to hurt you again. Klein, yes. Unable to fly too high. You like the Azek arc? I loved the Azek arc, Mr. Loki. That was so awesome. I did not agree with his choice, though, but Mr. Azek is still my GOAT. He's probably even more so my GOAT than he was before. I don't agree with his decision, but I love him all the same. Powers like wind blades, singing, illusory scales, balance, and water membranes have no change. At the end of this experiment, Klein made Enzo and Ludwell walk down the stairs, clinging closely to the periphery of the city. As the 200-meter threshold approached, Klein raised his right hand, pressed down on his face, and stepped into the thin fog. He would have become the non-GOAT if he did that? I don't think so. I still think the second option was better. I think he should have fused his soul back into himself and become the Death Console again. I think he should have faith in himself that he can overcome what he should be with who he is. Almost at the ending of the volume? Yep, we're going to end it tomorrow, Raw. We're going to end it tomorrow morning. His mind instantly felt groggy as the scene before him changed. He had already entered Calderon City. He can't, though? That's the point? See, all this negativity, Merlin. Oh, he can't. It's written. The rules. Fuck the rules. Do what your heart desires. Trust yourself. Enduring the irascible feelings within, Klein made his left glove turn dark. His body turned illusory as it was tainted by a dark color, turning him into a shadow. Using the soul screening and the Tarot card suppression to hide the light, Klein floated diagonally. Sinking into the shadows of the collapsed buildings, he followed behind his marionettes, beginning to perform an initial inspection of the Calderon City. You will soon learn that you can... Miracles can happen, wrong? Miracles can happen, man. If it was me, I would rather trust my future self than my past self because I know. That's my reason for choosing the third option. Merlin. He has his Nakama with him. He has Klein, who's his Nakama. You think he can't do it with the power of his Nakama beside him? Are you kidding me? The destroyer of worlds. Very good, Bug. Klein didn't notice something. It was too quiet. It was as though the entire city was dead. Based on what Eridus and Ayur Moria had told him, Gregorius had uprooted Calderon City and thrown it deep into the spirit world. Before doing so, the residents were allowed to leave. But now, not only were there no active creatures in the region, there weren't even skeletons, zombies. Klein tensed up more and more. He observed very carefully. Nakuma backstory. No, Romero, I still have to watch it, man. I left One Piece after finishing Wano. I gotta rewatch them. So I'm probably missing like 40, 50 episodes at this point. I like to watch One Piece in batches because I get too frustrated watching it week to week because I go to watch it and it's like on this episode of One Piece, it's like Luffy is getting ready to go Gear 5. And then he's like beating his heart. And then it's like, tune in next week to see Luffy become Gear 5 and fight Kizaru. And I'm like, bro, I spent 20 minutes? No. I know a little bit about Kuma's. I've seen shorts and stuff. But yeah, it was sad as fuck. I'm afraid Kuma might become my new favorite One Piece character. I don't want him to dethrone my king. I love... My current number one has been there for a long time, okay? Basically since he was introduced. I don't want him to dethrone him, but I'm afraid he might. Fuck. See, this is what I mean. During this process, no spoilers, I don't know anything. Are you watching One Piece, Marlon? Do you plan to? During this process, he swept his gaze across who's number one? Brook. Brook. Love my guy Brook, dude. Love him to death. My go. After Wano, I see. Bro. Brook, after going after everything Brook has gone through, he fucking stole the poneglyph from Big Mom. What a go. Oh my god. Okay. During this process, his gaze swept across the broken white column. The smooth disc surface reflected a figure. What the fuck? Brook the MVP of the whole cake arc? Agreed. The disc's smooth surface reflected a figure, but it wasn't Enzo, but Klein in his papal tiara and blue robe. Klein had a gloomy demeanor. His face was pale and his eyes were listless, as though he had long been dead. Who's your least favorite? Bro, I don't know if I have a least favorite One Piece character, man. Everyone is goated. Everyone you think would fucking suck is like an amazing character. Oda has this like fucking superpower to make everyone you think you would hate and make you love them. Like, I can't remember the guy, but like, who's the guy dressed as a fucking baby? Like, I thought he was such a fucking loser when he was introduced. And then his backstory comes out and just tears. You're just sobbing like a fucking child. You're like, I'm sorry I judged you. And you're like, fuck, dude. God damn it. Senor Pink, exactly. I don't like Frankie. Oh, I love Frankie, dude. I love Frankie. Frankie was actually my favorite Straw Hat member for a little bit. Did you know this? What is that? Log into... What is this website? Grand Line Exchange? What is this? I don't understand. What the fuck is this site? Are you buying and selling characters? As stocks? God damn it, we're never finishing today's stream. Fuck me. What the fuck is happening here? They made what real? You know about the memes like stock prices of One Piece character? Oh, I see. Very good, very good. How is this? Shank says he's giving his trading tips for logged in users. Fuck you. Robin finds poneglyph behind couch. Marine's baffled. Love this. Whoa. How is Akainu top? What? What are the stocks based on? Emu's number 2? Fuck this guy, bro. I hate Emu. What the how is Cavendish up here? How is Carrot only at 100? How is Carabon? Who's even buying this fucking guy? Shit. How does this fucking guy at go? His ticker is go. Kill me. Just get me the fuck out of here. I'm done. My plan is to buy Usopp at low price right now, and when he gets the Elbaf power-up, become rich. What if he doesn't get an Elbaf power-up? I mean, he's going to. Don't get me wrong. Can stocks get much higher? No, I see a stock. I see a crash coming in the future. My God, we're not reading today. Okay, you know what? Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just gonna run to the washroom. I'll be right back. Okay. Oh. Oh, it's pulling the... God damn it, it's pulling... Oh, shit, it's pulling the wrong... Alright, it's pulling the wrong fucking chat. God damn it. Which one is this? That's chat 2. That's why. Okay. It's pulling the wrong chat. That's annoying. What the fuck? Okay, I'm just gonna move that. It's pulling the chat for tomorrow's stream. That's why. I was actually sacrificing Death Knell above the Grey Fog. Yes. I'm not that late, guys. Come on. It wasn't that bad. Okay, four more chapters. Okay, let's lock in so that I can be asleep by like midnight and then be really energetic for tomorrow. God damn it, I gotta stop doing night streams. I'm so... Okay. Hiding in the shadows, Klein's heart tightened. This was because he was extremely certain that the reflection in the smooth surface wasn't him. At least, not the real him. I would count to 180 million. Merlin, you can count to 180 million if I give you infinite time, okay? Since I'm completely fine, it means that the reflection isn't of me. Klein activated his spirit vision, controlled Enzo, and raised the word of C. He approached the white pillar in the ancient building, which remained in shambles, while secretly releasing some of his luck. The swarthy marionette approached the disc one step at a time. The disc had two layers, an innermost and outermost layer. The core region was as smooth as a mirror. The boundaries were engraved with bird-like features. The figure it reflected remained the same. Despite reflecting Enzo, it reflected the gloomy, pale Klein, while listless eyes. Even the sea god scepter, the papal tiara, and the papal robe that came with the tyrant card weren't missing. What does this mean? Klein grew out of the shadows, restoring his appearance back when he stepped into Calderon City. Holding the white sea-bone scepter and embedded blue gems, he wore the caped papal robe with the papal tiara. His face was hidden in the shadows, appearing somewhat blurry. His entire body exhibited a gloomy and cadaveric air, as though he was a zombie. Klein was alarmed. He never expected to have such an experience. Apart from the grey fog mixing with reality, the reflection on the golden disc really was him. It's nothing to worry about, he consoled himself. Normally, Klein, with his experience and ability to adapt, there was nothing that he needed to do at the moment. But first, considering how he was holding the scepter that made him rash, he needed to pay constant attention. Second, he knew that this was once Gregre's kingdom, and this was set up for her revival. So he was even more nervous than before. Getting Ludwell to return, there was bound to be all kinds of abnormalities. Wait, what? Getting Ludwell to return, he used his Beyonder powers to do a thorough inspection of himself. Alright, see you, Mezzo. I'll see you tomorrow to finish up the Volume 4, man. Let's fucking go. When living creatures enter Calderon, they will naturally transform into the deceased. This is similar to the underworld, but there's a fundamental difference. Living creatures here don't die abruptly before entering, or before slowly turning into mindless and dead creatures. They turn into dead spirits. I didn't notice it before because Enzo and Ludwell are basically dead, so there's no need for them to be converted. Eridus and Ayura Moria didn't mention this because the travelers, spirit world creatures, and angels automatically recovered after leaving alive. This kind of transformation is unable to affect the powers of the Grey Fog. At this moment, he heard a clanking sound. The sound was heavy but crisp. Klein wasn't in a hurry to react. He listened for 2 more seconds before letting Enzo put down the heavy desk and walk towards the broken tombstone. The half-tombstone corresponded to a building that developed further underground. On it were words written in the language of the dead. A quick-tempered fellow who died as a result of comparing which was harder, his head or someone else's hammer. What kind of a dumb fuck? That better be a fucking joke. Enzo circled around the damaging tombstone and arrived at the entrance of the tomb. He then pulled open the door. Amidst the grinding sounds of rust, the door slowly opened. White beams of arrows shot out. They brushed past Enzo's face and the top of his head, torso, and inner thigh. Must have been a fool. I have to say that such a marionette is excellent for explorations, Klein sighed. It was a blacksmith, a giant with a bluish-black skin and a head that looked like a ruptured watermelon. As the giant with a cracked head had normal spirit body threads and wasn't the soul avatar of someone else, Klein heaved a sigh of relief. He then got Enzo to take a look. Must have been a hunter. Must be a hunter in that. What do you mean? This feeling was, wait, just as he was about to get Enzo to take a look, his body turned numb. This feeling was something he's felt before, like being in the, under the effects of sealed artifact 249. Provoker sequence? Oh, I see, okay. Klein didn't know better back then, but after becoming a marionettist, he knew that this meant that his spirit body threads were being controlled. This also meant that someone was controlling his spirit body threads. Furthermore, the difference was that not only were his joints rusting as though someone had infused glue onto them, he also felt a strong numbness as though he was struck by lightning. No good. It's the spirit world plunderer. We found a spirit world plunderer! We can kill her right now and just go back! Does Klein become a sequence 4 sooner than I expected? Hold on, divination time. Fuck it. Hold on. Bro, we're not reading at all tonight. Fuck me. I don't even know what the point of this. I should just end stream right now. I'm not fucking reading. Fuck me. Target acquired. The target in this case, of course, is Klein. But hey, we'll be okay. We'll fight our way out of this. It's fine. Today. I'm like, let's go gambling! Klein becomes a demigod in the next 50 chapters. Klein becomes a demigod in the next 30 chapters. Damn. Klein becomes a demigod in the next 40 chapters. Klein becomes a demigod in the next 35 chapters. 1050. We're down to 955. No, sub 955. Klein will become a demigod during tomorrow's morning stream. Interference. The Evernight Goddess has fucked me, dude. The Evernight Goddess has taken everything from me. God damn it. 2 million coin flip? I'm gonna get cooked. 2 million? I'm gonna get interference. No. I was guarded against... It's the use of soul avatar. It distracted me and secretly approached. But I never expected... Not only did it have a soul avatar, but a partner. The blacksmith made me careless, and the marionette's existence made me ignore my own safety. At this moment, the giant blacksmith with the ruptured head raised his hammer and rushed over to Enzo, hoping to smash him to a pulp. And by Klein's neck, there was a cold wind blowing at it, piercing his hair. Oh, fight music. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Do. Is this it? No, this is too solemn. This is too solemn. What do we do? I'll do wall closing in. We'll do walls closing in. The surroundings turned silent, but now all kinds of strange creatures emerged. Some of them only had half a body, while others were transparent and nearly invisible. Some were stretched out and soft like noodles. Username, you want to give me some other options? Send it in the music chat, man. Some had ruptured chests with bloody innards. Some had dark green faces that resembled that of an evil spirit. Others had eyes growing everywhere on their body. There were also others who looked like jellyfishes. Countless gazes cast onto Klein. At this moment, Klein opened his mouth with great difficulty and said, "Sing." Just as he said that, the glove on his left palm opened its mouth. "Praise you! Praise the Lord that created everything. The Lord who reigns above the curtain of shadows. The degenerated nature of all living things." Amidst this jarring voice that resembled blackboard scratching sounds, Enzo, who had been thrown to the ground, successfully avoided the hammer strike. As Word of the Sea began spewing out its word bubbles in excitement, "Break, break, break," Klein suddenly felt his head ache as his ability to think was instantly recovered. But his body remained rusted as his body was filled with numbness. Eridus, when did you come, man? How you doing? Following that, he relied on his spirituality while motionless, controlling Ludwell, who had returned to his side, to punch him with his left fist. Klein staggered backwards, instantly extricating himself from the numb and sluggish state. Anyway, back to lurking. Fair enough, man. Then, wearing the papal tiara, he became hot-headed as he spread his papal cape and raised the sea god scepter. The gems lit up one after another as a bright silver bolt of lightning blasted down. As bolts of lightning spread into branches, blanketing the Calderon city's periphery for hundreds of meters with a lightning forest, the destructive aura and sense of destruction were brought to the forefront. Kit Kat, how's it going, man? Okay, can I ask you guys for a favor? All the lurkers in chat, which is a lot, by the way. That's fine. No problem. You know what? You prefer to do that slow. You prefer to just not be there. Doing it in the background. No problem. Can I ask y'all for a favor? When y'all pop in, just say a message. Just say any message, whatever you want. Just say like, back to lurking. Say whatever the fuck you want. Just for me to say hi. Okay, that's all. Say whatever you want. Say a fucking dot. Say a fucking dot for all I care. I don't give a shit. Just for me to say hi to everyone. The strange creatures that had changed out from various spots shattered, evaporated, and vanished. Arthur, how's it going, man? I'm not lurking. No, yeah, I wouldn't call you a lurker. You're fine. Moments after the storm quelled, Klein's sea god scepter emitted a blinding light once again. Adam, how's it going? Just say hello, Unc. Fuck you, Luvion. You started this. Wait, I don't think it was you. I think it was... I don't know who it was. Fuck, I don't know who it was. I don't want to know either, because I'll ban him. The rapturous bolts of lightning snaked, embroiling the entire area. After 2 repeated casts of lightning, Klein was exhausted as he calmed down. His heart beat suddenly as he recalled something. The lightning storm was indiscriminate. Apart from the sea god scepter wielding and the partner who stood beside him, everything was decimated. This meant that Ludwell was fine, but there was a good chance of Enzo being wiped out. Deathberry, I don't think I've ever seen you in chat before. How you doing, man? I'll try to remember no promises, though. That's all I can ask, Kit Kat. That's all I can ask. Klein instinctively looked over and saw Enzo curled by his side of the half-tombstone. Beside him was a huge metallic hammer which had bolts of lightning staking around. Not far from it, was 2 non-human charred legs. The tomb corresponding to the tombstone had collapsed. The iron-black tiles landed on the ground. As expected of a winner, he didn't die despite all this. The amount of luck he has is unbelievable. Klein then began looking for the Spirit World Plunderer. He believed that the range of the Spirit World Plunderer couldn't match that of the Lightning Storm. The already dilapidated buildings was nearly leveled. I like to spectate? No worries, man. No worries. I appreciate you being here. All the same. The remaining stone pieces and bones were nearly charred black. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the rubble more than 100 meters away. It was wearing a translucent white robe. It didn't have a head or limbs. It appeared to be propped up by an invisible person. At that moment, it looked like it was in a sorry state, with wounds and black marks everywhere. I think Unk started. I'm calling us Red Del Unk, and I'll transfer to you. Whatever. This is the Spirit World Plunderer, I suppose. My rash usage of 2 lightning storms seems to have restrained it. 3 more chapters. Alright, let's go. At this moment, Klein roughly understood the situation. Due to the law of beyond our characteristics convergence, he had been targeted by the Plunderer. It moved the golden disc to unknown origins into the predicted path, allowing his marionette to see it and walk past. As such, his attention was transferred to the transformation effect Calderon City had. Following that, I used a giant blacksmith to distract him further. If it wasn't because I had seen those deceased bodies that are hung up like wind chimes, having an instinctual fear of high-sequence beyonders of the seer pathway and being prepared, I might have already been a soul avatar of his. Seriously. Going Chibi Art and Miss Messenger, so I'm gonna go back to lurking. No worries, Kit Kat. Let me know if I can commission you to draw Chibi Art of me at some point, okay? It does need to be with the hair. I will make that stipulation. If you draw me with bald, I will not pay you. I want to be clear. Hey, Marmons, I appreciate you popping by, man. No worries. The stream for Volume 4 ending is in just shy of 14 hours. If you would like, the stream is scheduled on the YouTube, so you can just pop over and take a look. And secondly, can I also recommend popping over to our Discord, link in the description. That way I'll give you a heads up 2 hours before I go live as well, if you're interested. But I hope that helps. Seriously, I should have thought of the law of beyond our characteristics convergence before I came in. I was still too rash. Thanks, I'll try to attend. Good luck on your stream. Thanks, man. I appreciate you popping by. Klein continued using Lightning Storm. If once wasn't enough, make it twice. If it still wasn't enough, do it 3 times. He had to take the opportunity to stop the Spirit World Plunderer from escaping. This was the safest method. Baldo the Wiggitus, fuck you. You know what, just for that, I'm not paying you, fuck off. And this was the safest method. And it was also Klein's fighting style. If it wasn't because Lightning Strike was greatly weakened, he suspected that he could have gone over to pick up the characteristic by now. Having already digested most of the Sequence 5, his spirituality was sufficient to let him deal damage for a while. At this moment, the figure wearing the translucent robe burst into a pale white flame. It appeared midair, several hundreds of meters away. Thunder, how's it going, man? I had to stream so that I could finish Volume 4 tomorrow. Fuck, I thought it was 10 chapters less, dude. God damn it. If it was 10 chapters less, then I wouldn't have to do a stream tonight and I could just rest, and then tomorrow we could do a good stream and then be done. What pathway do you think Eridus is from? That's actually a great question. Okay, no worries. Bye, Dr. Z. I don't know, because it would have to have lightning. It would also have to be kind of rash. Is it weird that I'm thinking sailor? Is that crazy? Because it has to have lightning, because it smites people with lightning, and it's very rash, which is also of the tyrant pathway. Is that crazy? At this moment, the invisible figure burst into a flame, appearing hundreds of meters away. The Spirit World Plunderers had Flaming Jump, which was many times stronger than Klein's version. At the same time, in the rubble, it was hiding in a 4-meter tall giant staggered to his feet. The giant's chest was wide open, but it didn't have any innards. It stood there like a castle. And in Klein's spirit vision, its spirit body threads were gathered together, extending towards the Spirit World Plunderer. At the tip of the Sea God Scepter, the blue-covered gems lit up. A few bolts of lightning leapt out of thin air, mixing together into a huge silver arrow. Instantly, it smote down the giant's head. All the invisible defenses shattered, and the paper mash, and the giant's head cracked. Countless bits of charred flesh splattered everywhere. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. Klein raised the Sea God Scepter even higher. In a very large area of Calderon City, dark clouds gathered. Under a suppressive layer, they made the area appear darker and more repressed. Bean-sized drops of water smashed to the ground, releasing dust that had accumulated over time. The raindrops plattered at an increasing speed, causing a storm. The water extinguished the pale white flame and formed a stream that gushed downwards. In such weather, Klein's flame jump was made ineffective, but likewise for the Spirit World Plunderer. But to a tyrant, his spirituality could spread through the clouds, as though he had transformed into a deity. Whew. Every dark cloud, every drop of water had become Klein's eyes. It made it easy to find the plunderer. This invisible figure in the translucent white robe was hiding behind a pale white column. Boom! A deafening boom sounded as bolts of lightning meshed into a silver beam and shot right at the Spirit World Plunderer. Justin, how's it going, man? Relying on its potent spiritual premonition, the figure burrowed into the ground half a second early. 3 thick silver beams smote the area one after another, melting the soil away as they sank downwards. The plunderer emerged from another spot as it hurriedly dodged, keeping to the right at times and left at others. However, regardless of where it fled, the beams of lightning were chasing it. The deity akin to a tyrant who looked down from the clouds at the plunderer waved the scepter over and over. Klein became more and more anxious, eager to immediately end the hunt. However, he soon felt a strong sense of exhaustion. Klein felt something was amiss. The Spirit World Plunderer had a chance of retreating into the city, so why is it staying? It's clearly a Spirit World creature. It can burrow deep underground to avoid lightning, so why is it circling around? It wants me to attack. Imagine every drop of lightning, every drop of rain is your eye. That is actually kind of crazy. It noticed that I'm not a demigod. It wishes to drain me of my spirituality. Klein realized how clever the Spirit World Plunderer was. Could lightning storm and stormy rain attract the notice of other dangerous existences? I'm too rash. I keep neglecting this stuff. Klein put away the sea scepter. The heavy storm stopped. Klein made Enzo return to his side with word of sea, and he got Ludwell to protect him in the middle. Following that, he and his marionettes walked through as though they were trying to leave the city. During this process, Klein had his spirit body threads vision constantly activated. He noticed that this creature's spirit body threads were special. A portion of them came from its body, but a number materialized externally as though bound together in a thick bundle. Klein suspected that this was the state the plunderer controlled a soul avatar, making it different from a marionettist. As he shifted his gaze, he suddenly saw the thick black illusory threads coming from the collapsed house. Klein didn't hesitate to raise the sea god scepter. Boom! Amidst this sound that struck awe into one's mind, Ludwell raised his left hand. His body turned illusory as his arms extended out, stretching into the collapsed house. Midway, his palm turned white, an illusory face protruded out, with a snake-like tongue which had white fur covering its surface. What the fuck is this? The tongue reached out, penetrating the wall and stabbing at the spot where the spirit body threads were gathered. Around the soul, a number of spirit body threads disappeared as though they never existed. They were fake. The spirit world plunderer was able to create fake, illusory spirit world plunderers. Klein turned his head elsewhere, and indeed, he saw spirit body threads swim over underground fast. He once again used the sea god scepter, releasing a thunderclap close to the ground, one that could awe his spirit body. Meanwhile, Enzo expended some of his remaining luck, adding bad luck to his target. He then shot out a silver bolt of lightning. The bolt of lightning rather luckily passed through a crack and entered the ground, striking the assailant. But the spirit body threads vanished again. It was also fake. What is even the fucking point? Just leave. He's striking at jack shit. Like imagine going to box for the first time, and the coach is like, hey, just like, you're new, so like just hit the bag, okay? Like they show you good technique. They're like, okay, stagger your feet, turn your body to the side, punch with your feet, like whatever, okay? Like basic shit. And then they do that, and then you're punching for like half an hour, and you're like, oh, and you're like out of breath. And you're like, coach, how am I doing? And he goes, you know you've missed the bag for 30 minutes, right? Like, you know you've been hitting jack shit? Yes? And you're like, what? Like, cooked. What is even the point? Just as Klein reacted, his thoughts paused and his body turned numb. Just as he opened his mouth, the invisible figure in the translucent robes descended from above. The spirit world plunderer had been hiding high in the sky. The moment the invisible figure appeared, maggots began crawling out of its collar where its head should be. They were maggots with strange patterns covering them. Ugh. Just one look at them sent his mind reeling. Although he broke out of the control of the spirit body threads, he lost his ability to think. His face that was shadowed by the tiara began to grow meat tendrils. If it wasn't for the tyrant card's level supporting him, he would have fallen to the ground, struggling in pain. The spirit world creature had a mythical creature form to a degree. At this moment, the invisible figure inside the white robes began controlling Klein's spirit body threads. In a few seconds, they were close to succeeding. Seeing that its prey was about to become its sole avatar, the plunderer suddenly saw its target open its mouth and say one word. Fate. The incantation of the Fate Siphon Charm. Oh, so good. Klein really wanted to leave. He could have grabbed his two marionettes and ended the summoning. His plan was to trap the plunderer, the real reason he could recover so quickly from his injuries. And why he was able to chant the word was because he had experience dealing with such situations. Besides, although he wasn't too sure what method his opponent was using, he was definitely a rather well-rounded way to deal with it. There was definitely a rather well-rounded way to deal with it, making his opponent unlucky. Just as Klein entered a sluggish state, his first reaction wasn't to make the mystical item sing, but to let Enzo expend all his luck, making the spirit world plunderer have bad enough luck. I love that. I love that train of logic, though. Like, listen, I don't have to be lucky, okay? You just have to be sufficiently unlucky for me to be lucky by comparison. So, get fucked. You're dead. I now have the first character. I now have the first thing I need to become a demigod, okay? Fate. As the dragged out, abstruse ancient Hermes terms resounded, the spot where the plunderer incline was darkened, although it wasn't obvious, as though a cloud had drifted over in midair without stopping. But when this illusory shadow dissipated, the invisible figure that was donning the translucent white robe stood frozen. It was sluggish, slow, and in a dire state. Klein had his lucidity return. It was as though it wasn't the spirit world plunderer who was controlling Klein's threads that nearly succeeded, but as though Klein, who was controlling, who had nearly converted it into a marionette. The fate siphon charm switched one's fate, a high-level charm using the worm of time. Therefore, Klein and the spirit world plunderer's situation had reversed. One went from death to survival, while the other went from victory to instant despair. After confirming that the spirit world plunderer was intelligent and difficult to deal with, making it difficult to hunt, Klein began putting on an act instead of retreating. He appeared rash as he deliberately walked into the plunderer's control, enticing its actions. Imagine Amon? Amon is looking OP, man. And I will say, this is making me think Amon might actually be a bad guy. Like a real bad guy. Like, end of series bad guy. You know what I mean? Maybe not the bad guy, but like a bad guy. Because, damn. This is some like gnarly power to have. Although I will say, this is kind of like having... If Amon was to help Klein with something, like let's say, for example, ASG comes back and for whatever reason, Amon hates his dad or some bullshit and he doesn't want ASG to come back. I don't know, whether because he wants to become a true god or something. And ASG would just be like, no, I want only God and characteristic, no, you know, whatever, selfish bitch. And Amon wants to help him. I feel like Amon helping Klein fight ASG would be the equivalent of Aizen helping Ichigo fight Yuhabaha. Like, you know, like everything seems lost. Klein is like, oh, I almost defeated him. And then Amon shows up from behind him, throws the Fate Siphon Charm, switches their fates, and he's like, I did all the work, and then leaves. After confirming that the spirit world plunderer, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Exactly. After confirming that the spirit world plunderers was... nope, already read this. This way, what terrible acts the plunderer did to its enemy, the charm would then allow it to experience the same despair. Of course, if this Fate Siphon Charm didn't have the expected effect, or if the spirit world plunderer's main soul didn't appear and he had ended up using other means to control it, Klein still had one more trick to his sleeve. To end the summoning and return above the grey fog, he would sacrifice his 2 marionettes and a few items, but he would ensure his own safety. He's right behind me, Ai. How can I not bring him? He's everywhere. Look at this fucking guy. Look at this fucking guy. Look at this handsome devil. Without the time to marvel at how magical the Fate Siphon Charm was, or how terrifying Angels of the Marauder Pathway was, Klein didn't hesitate to raise the Sea God Scepter. The dark papal robe flared up as the wind, with the wind as the gold papal tiara emitted meshed blue light. It shot out bolts of lightning. A swath of silver color brightened up immediately, inundating the target. Once, twice, thrice, Klein continually triggered lightning balls. Finally, he heard a roar that seemed to stem from the depths of one's soul, as he sensed that his target had collapsed and dissipated. Yeah, Amon is behind everything. I am everything, of course, and this is behind everything. Checkmate. Flickering lights emerged as the spirit world plunderer's body cracked, turning into countless illusory bubbles. The tyrant had succeeded. At this moment, deep within Calderon City, there was a sudden quake as though a massive creature had awoken. The indescribable feeling combined into a swath of illusory grayish-white and tidal wave. Other spirit world plunderers? No, this seems way more terrifying. A being that the spirit world plunderer attends to? There's no sound at all. It's horrifying. Klein pumped himself up as he diverted some of his attention to monitor the situation inside the city as he anxiously waited for the characteristic to appear. But bald people can't be him on. He isn't relishing in delight of a successful hunt. He was pacing anxiously. Klein got Enzo and Ludwell to stay close to him. He threw the Sea God Scepter to the former so as to escape the state of irascibility. He began considering how to deal with the subsequent developments. Klein recalled something as his thoughts turned clear. Back when he made the mystical items sing, Creeping Hunger had praised the true creator and used his complete honorific name. The true creator might have heard his Creeping Hunger's praises. Oh no. Oh God. Klein's spiritual perception was triggered as he instinctively cast his gaze to the entrance of Calderon City. The lights there flickered as a figure entered. The figure was wearing a simple, ordinary linen robe with a head of silver hair. He was a handsome man with soft facial features. His eyes were gentle with some hints of coldness. It was as though he was observing the fates of everyone in the world like a spectator. Behind him, there were beams forming illusory layers of pure wings. They spread outwards, blocking the entire entrance. Klein nearly hissed through the gaps in his teeth as a series of titles and names flashed through his eyes. Ouroboros, Tail Devourer, Angel of Fate, King of Angels. He didn't have the luxury of time to consider the possibility of his previous thought. His body expanded as though it was incorporeal, enveloping his marionettes and the Enzo and Ludwell and the so-called and the yet-to-appear characteristic. At this moment, Ouroboros' silver eyes already had the distant figure in his sights, a figure wearing a papal tiara and a blue robe. A river of flickering light appeared in his eyes, seeming to circle the tyrant figure. Silently, the square houses and the pale white column stood again, despite being destroyed by the lightning storms from before. The charred legs of the giant once again possessed a body as he appeared inside the tomb. All of this returned to what it was like before, shortly after this tyrant stepped in. However, Klein and his pontiff attire had vanished, along with his marionettes and the spirit world plunderer. Oh, Klein canceled the summoning. Oh my god. Oh my god, I shit myself. That was so scary. What the fuck? Sorry, username sent me something. Oh god. Oh, that was close. The corresponding figure was unable to return as the rebooted scene shattered, returning to the desolate scene after the battle. My lord sends his regards. Ouroboros showed up there instantly, bro. This motherfucker was on call. Creeping Hunger said the name. True Creator heard it, and Ouroboros was there. This motherfucker was like, yes, my lord, I'm there. Above the grey fog, Klein sat in the high-backed chair of the fool. He had already thrown the Sea God Scepter to the junk pile, and the Tyrant card had left his soul body. The Plunderer's bubbles were floating ahead, with the characteristic constantly seeping out. After resting for a while, Klein saw the greyish-white powder fall into the mottled table's surface. The item was the size of a palm, formed by coiled maggots. Disgusting. It was almost shaped like a human, and its interior was filled with a colorless liquid. Bubbles often emerged. Happy birthday, Sharon! Yay! My queen! Actually, on that fun note, tomorrow, because it's Sharon's birthday, I will put the Sharon Osad art behind me instead of the Amon one. It's her birthday. We'll do that. If it's any character's birthday that has a good art, we'll put them behind me. We'll do that. That's actually a good idea. Huh. The item, Klein didn't seem to look at it carefully, as there were more complicated structures in the weightless, transparent objects. They formed indescribable patterns and symbols that fused knowledge, bizarreness, and madness. This made Klein feel dizzy. This is like the true soul of the spirit world plunderer. I have the corresponding powder as well. There's about 70 grams, more than I need, more than I expected. After completing this, he raised his hand to rub his temples. If it wasn't for the Sea God Scepter, I would probably have to leave Calderon City due to the assault of the Spirit World Plunderer. I would then have to wait for helpers. I was rash the entire time. The outcome was fine, but it really doesn't suit me. It's also completely at odds with the Seer pathway. The Spirit World Plunderer has been successfully hunted. There's no need for me to get Miss Sharon's help. In a few days, I'll write to her so she won't think about it again. However, I still have a premonition that I'll be heading to Calderon City later. When that happens, I might still need her help. In addition, I have to seek out information on Bizarro Banes. I can't put all my hopes on the City of Silver. Nah, I would. Colin Iliad's got it, bro. Amidst his thoughts, Klein returned to his body without bringing his marionettes. He ended the ritual and went to bed. Escaped? Soest looked at the man opposite him and Daly. They had just finished the operation and captured a few numinous episcopate members. However, the key personnel the intel pointed to, Hand of Paleness, Palenque Tesiblius, wasn't at the secret gathering. He was a Sequence 4 demigod. Therefore, not only had the Red Glove teams used a Grade 1 artifact, they had even requested the goddess's eye, Ilia's help, but it was futile. Daly nodded yes. Where did he go? Soest asked. He said he was going to meet someone, the numinous episcopate member replied. Who is that person? Daly pressed. Ince Zongwil. Klein, oh my god. I just had a theory. We're doing another divination. Bro, we're never finishing reading today. I don't know. We're just gonna keep fucking around. Bro, I lost all my money. This is cooked. Ince Zongwil dies at the end of Volume 4. Never mind. I was gonna say, Klein is gonna kill Ince right now. Or at the end of Volume 4. Just before that, he's gonna get the item from Colin and drink the potion at the end after killing him. Fuck, man. God damn it. I hate this. I have such a good theory and it goes away in step. I have like 8 different divinations I need to do to get my theory right. Fails on the first one. Fuck me. $8:30 is a good place to end it, right? We'll end it here. Tomorrow I'll need to read 16 chapters. So if I can average 4 chapters an hour, I can be done in 4 hours. If I can average more, I'll be done faster, but I think we should be aiming for a 4-hour stream tomorrow. It might take longer because 4 chapters an hour is more than I average, but generally end of volume streams tend to go a little faster because we're like in pace, so we're like chilling. Because it's so hype, we just want to keep reading. But yeah, all the same, that sucks. Upon hearing upon hearing the name, all Red Gloves fell silent. Ever since this former bishop had betrayed the church, the Evernight church had never relaxed in its pursuit of him. Everyone who had taken up high posts who had been responsible for searching for him, they helped each other and brought sealed artifacts everywhere to find him, but he always slipped away. To the Church of the Evernight, especially the Nighthawks, he was someone they hated. Even without realizing it, Leonard had already clenched his fists. He soon forced himself to extricate himself from the emotions. It was no wonder Dwayne was able to meet Ince, because the latter's goal was also the southern continent, East Balam. He can stop at 9:32. Okay. There would be 2 more chapters. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do 2 more chapters. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it, boys. Fuck it. Let's do this. Okay. Amidst everyone's silence, Daly spoke. Where are they meeting? No. 9:32 is fine. I don't know. The numinous Episcopate member shook his head. Daly raised a few more questions, but she didn't get any answers. Soes then sighed. First, we need to inform this piece of intel to Her Excellency, Goddess's Eye. We shall leave it to her to contact the Holy Cathedral. Ince Zongwil, who has 008, isn't someone a Red Glove can handle. Second, we should continue investigating and follow this clue pertaining to Telenque Tesiblius. Let's hope that we can figure out Ince Zongwil's motives. With this situation of us not being able to track him or lock onto him, grasping his motives is more important than knowing where he is. It can help us set up a trap. 9:46 is also a good place to end. Thanks, Luvion. Hadn't thought of that. Finally, from now on, everyone is to take note of any coincidences, regardless of the reason they are to be reported to me. Yes, Captain, everyone spoke in unison. Leonard stared at Daly, who finding each other both in a state of silence. He heard Pala Zoroas speak. From the looks of it, I'll be witnessing a play of running around and pursuing. What the hell is he talking about? Is he hinting at something? We just decided to investigate Ince's motives, and it's already known by 008? If a person is already dead, was to secretly do an investigation, could it avoid 008? Klein rubbed his head and slowly got out of bed after 2 hours of sleep. Following that, he pulled the bell by the side of the door and waited for an attendant to arrive. Send another lunch set to the room. I had my meal too early, Klein asked. Yes, sir, a lunch set. Any special requests? With braised meat as the main dish. Match it with a cup of sparkling wine with ice and lemon. Do I include 2 servant meals? The native asked. Yes. After ending the conversation and closing the door, Klein set up a ritual to bring Enzo and Ludwell back. As for creeping hunger in the word of the sea, he left them up in the junk pile. One was starving and the other could hardly resist the urge to sing. Why does it have to resist the urge? Just tell it to sing in the grey fog and then bring it down here, chillin'. You're gonna do a solo performance. After Klein controlled his marionette to clean up his room, he's such a bitch. He can't even clean up his own shit. He's like, once Klein becomes a demigod and he has like 10 fucking marionettes, he's gonna have like a sequence 9 marionette solely to wipe his ass after taking a shit. Like, actually, what the fuck is this? He's gonna have someone of the sailor pathway who's able to like who's able to be like a fucking working bidet, effectively, just like splashing water. Klein At the same time, Klein put down his cutlery, picked up his napkin, and wiped his mouth. He then shook his head. If this continues, I'll become fat. Thankfully, I'm faceless, Klein smiled. Only at this moment did he feel like he felt better. He now had the energy to consider his trip to Calderon City. The Marauder pathway is terrifying. As a king of an angel, it's obvious how terrifying Oman is. Even an avatar isn't easy to deal with. Thankfully, I didn't put on a brave front. The true creator places a great deal of importance on me. He got Ouroboros to rush over. This does have a feeling of traveling across time. Just as Klein was in thought, his expression sank. Ouroboros is from the monster pathway. This meant that he could directly see the uniqueness of him. He could see the grayish-white fog and the translucent maggots. Bro acting like he wouldn't do the same? Oh, I'd for sure do the same, but I'm a dick, Ramiro. Don't base it on what I would do. What does this imply? The Angel of Fate who survived since the Second Epoch should know something. The true creator probably knows more. Could they be able to tell that I'm the master of the mysterious space above the grey fog? Regardless, the importance they place on me will rise. He felt lucky, be it the Rose Redemption or the Aurora Order. They had yet to lock onto any of the Fool's believers. Yeah, because we have like 7. However, during this chaotic battle outside Bayam, he was still active as Gehrman Sparrow. He had thrown out the Tinder Glove, which had been corrupted by the true creator. From the clues extending outwards from Gehrman, there's Cattleya, Edwina, Danitz, and Anderson. All of them will be investigated. I have to warn them. From his point of view, the pursuit of Gehrman by the military, Church of Storm, Rose School of Thought, Numinous Episcopate were all different. Bro, Gehrman is the most wanted man on the planet, actually. The true creator's believers were rather insane and had a king of angels as a leader. Among them, Vice Admiral Edwina and the Fog Sea's strongest hunter, Anderson, weren't people Klein worried about. They knew little. Nothing that pointed to the core problem. West Balam, northern state. Danitz, who was chewing on meat, suddenly paused. He heard the fool pass him the warning from Gehrman. Be careful of the Numinous Episcopate. Be careful of the Aurora Order, especially the latter. Also, warn Anderson and Edwina. What the fuck did Gehrman do? Why has he offended so many factions? Dog shit, Danitz muttered. He has no idea that the strongest person of the 7 pirate admirals has changed. Have you recalled something? Anderson asked. Danitz took a deep breath. Have you heard of the Aurora Order? I'm actually more surprised that you've heard of them. Did your captain tell you? They believe that life is nothing but a spiritual journey. As long as one is willing to listen to their preachings, understand and discover, and gather godhood, they will become angels. Such an idea doesn't sound bad, but that's not the main point. They believe in the true creator. Danitz couldn't help but jeer. You know quite a bit. Just a little less than I know. Anderson smiled. Of course. I once joined a secret organization in Incest. They hope to change society, the world, to make the supernatural no longer secret and be out in the open. They're called the Iron and Blood Cross Order. They also believe in the true creator. Iron and Blood Cross Order. Interesting. New method to acquire intel, 931. I should change the music now. Glancing at Dennis's expression, Anderson continued, however, their brains appeared to be eaten by zombies. They were fervent to the point of stupidity. Iron and Blood Cross Order is a whole vibe. That name is fucking cool. They didn't adhere to my sense of aesthetics, so I quit. Why is your face so pale? Did you get a heat stroke? I've once heard that once someone believes in an evil god, it's impossible to escape their fate. Well said, Anderson replied. It's not like I have any true faith. Back then, the incantations I said were lines I modified from the God of Knowledge and Wisdom. Since they don't use their brains, no, they don't even have them. As long as you superficially appear devout, any random excuse can be used to fool them. Why are you suddenly asking about the Aurora Order? Danitz asked. I just recalled something, Danitz said. Bro, Danitz is cooked. Or, sorry, Anderson is cooked. Anderson is cooked. Something is wrong with him. I just recalled something. Gehrman had been identified by the Aurora Order as a high-priority elimination target and the Numinous Episcopate. Both you and I are known to have relations with him. You want me to be careful against the Aurora Order and the Numinous Episcopate? Anderson nodded. You recently mentioned something similar. The Rose School of Thought, Church of Storm, Lone Military. Man, I feel that Gehrman is at times suited to be a hunter even more than me. What do you plan on doing in West Balam? Helping Gehrman with something? Anderson asked. The investigation of the people's situation pertaining to different classes of people in West Balam, Danitz answered. This was determined after his discussion with Edwina. In common parlance, it meant investigating the developments of various organizations and factions in West Balam. The investigation of fate pertaining to different classes of people in West Balam. Anderson repeated Danitz's words. After the end of the tarot gathering and warning Cattleya to take note of the Aurora Order and Numinous Episcopate, Klein busily finished the transaction between the world, the moon, and the sun. He received £5,000 in return. After dinner, he bit on an unlit, undisguised smoke pipe as he read the newspapers. He then saw Miss Messenger walk out of the void. Leonard. Klein then unfolded the letter he received from Leonard. Inzongwil has appeared in East Balam. He's suspected to have met with Palenque Tesiblius of the Numinous Episcopate. Inzongwil. Klein ruminated over the name. The problem is that 008 has the characteristic of any mention of it will be known. Knowing it also means being used by it. Besides, it's good at arranging coincidences, making people follow its direction without even realizing it. Under such circumstances, it's difficult to avoid 008. Not only is there no chance of success, I'll also expose myself. He read Leonard's letter again, hoping to find more clues. East Balam, Numinous Episcopate, Artificial Death, Palenque Tesiblius. Artificial Death. As Klein thought, he suddenly recalled that there was a matter that no one else other than himself and Mr. Isaac knew. The Evernight Goddess had preliminarily gained control of the death pathway's uniqueness. In other words, artificial death. Presently, she was usurping, digesting, and wielding the corresponding authority. Is the Evernight Goddess trying to become the super god? And just such a bitch can't even use a quilt properly? Made lad used it to kill an angel. I know, right? Is the Evernight Goddess trying to become the super god of her pathways? Because she's the sequence 0. She obtained the uniqueness of the death pathway, which is interchangeable. Maybe. What, do you want me to call it Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan? We did a fucking poll for it a while back, Justin. Super God won. What do you want from me? The giant pathway. Yes, Sarah. In other words, the Numinous Episcopate's artificial death faction were in a way Evernight believers. After the authority was fully transferred and seized, they were bound to suffer a purge before merging with the Evernight Church. Or they might continue their work, making contact with the other Numinous Episcopate factions and other secret factions while unnoticeably cooperating with the Nighthawks. To Klein, there wasn't anything of importance. What was important was that an ancient text he found. It mentioned to create artificial death, a number of Numinous Episcopate members had to pray to the uniqueness daily, as though it was a deity, in an attempt to slowly awaken its sentience and allow it to come to life. But this was only one part of the plan. Then could it be possible that when Palenque Tasiblius praised to artificial death, he mentioned Insongwil's motives and sought blessings? Oh, is Klein thinking that the Evernight Goddess learned of this? Through the prayers to the uniqueness? Oh, interesting. But he will probably never imagine that the artificial death is already controlled by the Evernight Goddess. Although it hasn't become part of her manifestation, it has already lost its freedom. You guys have such bad naming sense? Super God is great! What do you mean? From this angle, directly setting up a ritual to pray to the goddess might allow one to obtain Insongwil's motives. That's possible. As for the reason why this could become a reality, it was because the enemy's leader was their spy. After getting Enzo to stop massaging him, Klein paced about. Ince is a traitor to the church, an insult to all Nighthawks. If there's a chance to kill him, the goddess would be happy to help. But the goddess is now in a critical stage of seizing the artificial death's authority. She will not be able to provide answers for a time. She can only provide feedback to normal ritualistic magic, but I don't have ingredients. Also, I've been constantly warning myself to be on guard. I mustn't trust and rely on the goddess. On second thought, praying to her to receive a revelation might not be great. Suddenly, he had a more ludicrous idea, to directly pray to artificial death. This posed no real danger, because the artificial death couldn't respond. If there was feedback, it meant it was being controlled by the goddess. And on the other hand, Klein had the feather produced and left behind by the artificial death project. He also had Azek's copper whistle. He didn't need to spend too much time to gather ingredients. Premium God? I'm sorry. Is that the $7.99 version username, or how does that work? In addition, there's a layer between us. I'm not directly contacting the goddess. This might even help her further seize the authority. He first used the sacrificial and bestowment ritual. He then brought back remaining feathers and some full moon essence. He was essentially praying to the goddess. He couldn't be bothered to head out to buy some ritualistic materials of the death domain. This was essentially the same as other magic. With great familiarity, Klein lit the candles, dripped some oil, and drew the symbols for human and concealment. You are the essence of death. You are the lord of the dead. You are the final home to all living beings. I pray for your help. I pray for you to tell me the motives of Insongwil's contact with the Numinous Episcopate. Only God a person should trust as the true creator. Just as he said that, the candlelights burgeoned as they brightened significantly. Klein closed his eyes and entered cogitation. He walked in front of the altar and picked up the oil and dripped them onto each of the candles. After doing this, he took away Isaac's whistle and grabbed the goat skin, moved it closer to the candlelight representing himself. With a whoosh, the white feathers, which didn't show any signs of damage, soared. After about 3 seconds, the flames subsided, leaving a mound of powder. Possessed by an evil spirit requires exorcism. That guy reached out to Insongwell because he needs a fucking exorcism? Go find a religion, bro. What do you mean? By the way, can I say how much of a fucking loser anyone who believes in ancient death is? Bro, how do you pray to a god? How do you hope to bring a god back? I thought the point of having a god was to like have something bigger than yourself, so that you can be like, Lord, I pledge myself in your service, and I hope that you can help me. In this case, you're having to help your god because your fucking god is dead? What a joke. How do you... That's crazy. I mean, this is true. I will say loyalty is... The loyalty is crazy. Wiz never heard of loyalty. When God comes back, you get super benefits. Bro, you... fucking generations of people have died since death died. Why the fuck ain't Christian? I ain't Christian, but Jesus is dead. Merlin, they don't... The fucking... Okay. The Christians believe Jesus is dead, yes, but like in spirit, he's up there with God because Jesus is God. I mean, that part's kind of confusing because Jesus is not half human and half God. He's all human and all God. It's kind of confusing. But, I mean, I'm no Christian either, but, I mean, I went to Catholic school for 4 years, so I think I have, like, some understanding of this shit. So, like, it's different, because, like, okay, they believe, fucking he's dead, but, like, he's still alive up there as far as they're concerned, and they're like, no, he'll never explain the Trinity? What are we talking? Wait, Wallflower, did he change your wallpaper, man? Or are we talking about religion? What else would we talk about, people? What are you interested in? Pokemon? Transformers? You fucking child. Sorry, I apologize. The goddess replied. Upon seeing the words formed by the powder, Clan's reaction was that had nothing to do with the content. He was just shocked that this actually happened. Although he was already prepared and believed that the chances of success were high, he still took a moment to accept. He then said, "Praise the lady," and ended the ritual. Yeah, Pokemon is cool. Well, I do see Pikachu on your profile pic. It's a fair point. I mean, I know it's the Mimi Pikachu, but still. Arceus goated? Well, Arceus is Arceus basically omnipotent? I know Arceus created the universe, but I don't know how that actually works. You might have known him? Nah, before my time, guy. Arceus is like the Christian god, but for Pokemon. Love that. That's a great description. Insung Will actually got possessed by an evil spirit. He went from sequence 9 to 5 of the death pathway. The godhood he obtained at the critical stage, sequence 4 Night Watcher. One that's good at dealing with spirit body type creatures. Evil spirits and wraiths should be afraid of him. So why would he end up possessed? Unless the evil spirit's level is very high or is special. Unfortunately, I've only met one evil spirit in the truest sense. The evil spirit trapped in the underground ruins of Alista Tudor. I know very little about such monsters, so it's difficult for me to understand. I can write to Miss Sharon. I can also get the little son to find out. It's no wonder Ince is trying to meet a demigod of the numinous episcopate. When it comes to exorcising evil spirits, aside from the Evernight Church and EBS, the best would probably be them. There's also one point that can be gleaned from this. Ince doesn't wish for his possessed state to be known by anyone. Otherwise, there's no way for him to come all the way to there's no reason for him to come all the way to the southern continent. The two factions existed before the 5th epoch and have quite a legacy. It's quite unlikely that they don't have a sealed artifact that can remove or exorcise evils. Even if they can't find one, getting the Demoness sect to contact the numinous episcopate is far easier. The intel you have provided me made me connect certain clues from what I've previously gathered due to a particular great existence's help. This point has come clear. Ince is currently possessed by an evil spirit and he's seeking the help of the numinous episcopate. Based on this fact alone, we can make several judgments. Ince will often manifest inconsistency in his word and actions. He will often deviate from his normal path, doing something we feel is impossible for him to do. Is the evil spirit, in this case, 008's influence, or is it something else on top of that? Because if it's on top of that, this motherfucker is going through it. He has to deal with 008 trying to kill him. There's an evil spirit inside taking control of him. This guy is cooked. Unlike my food, which they gave to me fucking raw. No, I have no idea who the evil spirit is, Sarah. Bitch, Ince deserves it? No, I agree. He deserves it. I'm not saying it. I'm just asking. He deserves all that and more, Ramiro. No doubt about it. Before this problem is resolved, he will not stop having contact with the numinous episcopate. It might even become more frequent. Making investigations based on this may allow us to catch Ince by the tail. However, I believe we still can't lock onto him. The creation of coincidences from 008 is insurmountable. Upon writing this, Klein couldn't help but recall his direct encounter with Ince. His own investigations didn't directly point to him, but it caused their ploy to fail. Hence, Ince took action, sending a meteor to fall from the sky to kill Sherlock. But he ultimately received Mr. Asick's help to escape the situation, forcing Ince to step into the limelight himself. Can we demote Nightwalker? I think so. Yeah. I think he deserves it, yeah. If we can figure out the origins and primary goals of the evil spirits, there's a chance of us having a favorable chance. After writing the matters regarding Ince, Klein's heart stirred. Just as he was about to mention something else, he stopped his pen after writing the first few letters. He raised his left hand and pinched his cheeks. He appeared to be in a serious dilemma and seemed a little embarrassed. Can I take Nightwalker's place? Nightwalker hasn't been a normal fucking person for 30 seconds. Papal is already shooting his shot. After writing the matters regarding Ince, Klein's heart stirred. Just as he was about to mention something, he stopped. He raised his hand and pinched his cheeks. He seemed embarrassed. Even without Grade Zero sealed artifacts' help, Inns is an enemy you and I can't take head on. We need to make plenty of preparations. Mod rotation system. We'll set up that system as soon as Leonard joins the Tarot Club as the star. We'll set that system up, okay? I don't know when that's gonna happen, but we're getting a lot more Leonard recently, so I assume it's gonna happen soon. Maybe after Klein becomes a demigod, so like maybe 100 chapters. If the divination is to be believed sub 40. Well, no. More than 40. Oh, sorry. Less than 40, more than 30. There's a chance. No. Ramiro will keep a spot. So maybe mod back? No. You can have your modhood back eventually, Nightwalker, but for the time being, I want you to take some time to think about your actions, you know? I want you to really consider that as a mod, your words have consequence, your words have importance and value. So I want you to attach value to your fucking messages. Just take some time to reflect on your thoughts, you know? Milos's words don't have value. Net negative. Words maybe, but his impact on the whole art scene is supremely positive, so it offsets. He's a net positive for sure. The words of a mod stir the powers of nature. Couldn't have said it better myself, Arthur. Very good. If you can provide me with some worms of time, I can use them to create high-level charms that can deal with demigods. It's called a Fate Siphon Charm. It can swap the fates of yourself and a target for a short amount of time. After putting down his fountain pen, Klein didn't take a second look as he quickly folded the letter and sealed it. Net negative if I showed it to Lord of the Mystery, Sage of the Prophet Source. Providing sources is hard, username, when you're providing as many fucking artwork as he is. No, Adam, we're gonna finish volume 4 tomorrow morning, man. And this is the last chapter today, and then we're gonna do it tomorrow morning. The stream is already scheduled, so I hope you can pop by. I hope everyone in chat right now can pop by tomorrow. We're finishing volume 4, baby. Let's go. That's a Milos issue. He could get good. He then took out the Adventurer's Harmonica and the gold coin before summoning Miss Messenger. He got her to take the letter to Leonard. After doing this, Klein heaved a sigh of relief. Requesting the help of others is so difficult. But it's even more so for someone like me. Klein retracted his attention and focused on Enzo and Ludwell's appearance and began modifying it again. After all, they were seen by Ouroboros. During this process, Klein suddenly had an idea. He planned on sending them above the grey fog and using the Spirit World Plunderer's soul body for a disguise. The Spirit World Plunderer could make its avatars take the form of its true soul body, and he could get them to disguise themselves as a Spirit World creature. The Beyonder ingredient it left behind must have had such abilities, but it would be rather difficult to use it. But this wasn't a problem for Klein, who had the grey fog. After all, he didn't plan on using the ingredient for actual combat, and doing some changes to his marionette didn't require too much. As for the negative effects, it wasn't something to consider. Who wasn't obedient when left in the junk pile? He's so mean. After a series of tasks, Klein sat at the chair of the Fool. And without looking down into it, he imbued his spirituality into the Spirit Plunderer's true soul body. There wasn't much changes to the scene before him. It was still illusory and dense. Black spirit body threads. However, when he tried controlling them, he discovered that they not only control the marionette spirit body, but also his spirit body threads extend out and penetrate into their bodies. When both times established such a connection, Klein suddenly felt that he and his marionette was one. All his Beyonder powers could be enacted as the other powers on the other powers as the spirit body threads, including his trick of changing appearance and body. Klein felt rather groggy as he felt his emotions turn into a mess. He began showing signs of losing control, an inevitable outcome of having his spirituality make contact with godhood. He diverted some attention to stir some of the powers of the grey fog, and restored his condition to normal. After enduring the torment, Klein finished his attempt. Enzo had transformed into a southern continent native. Ludwell had a mixed blood feeling to him. By the way, you sure you want to lose your first line of defense and strongest soldier and make me mod before the stream ends? I want you to take some time to think about it, Nightwalker. We were gonna implement a rotation system anyway. You were okay with it, so let's just take a little bit of time. What time feels good? How about this? Tomorrow we'll leave you off. I'm gonna take the next day off. When we come back the following, you'll be mod again. We'll do that, okay? You're a believer of the primordial moon, right? You'll get to see the moon for 2 full nights without having to worry about the powers of mod. And then you will be mod again. How's that? Unfortunately, there's no way to change this mask into another type of accessory. Otherwise, it would save me a lot of trouble. Klein rushed to throw the Spirit World Plunderer's soul body back into the junk pile. He rubbed his temples and allowed his thoughts to wander. Right, I still have the Soul Assurer Beyonder characteristic that can be made into an item to replace that mask. I've always planned on returning it to the church. I'll mail it to him when Leonard replies. As the discomfort subsided, Klein took out his pocket watch. Following that, he summoned a paper figurine, stirred the powers of the grey fog, and threw both into the specially labeled point of light. It was to represent Dayanets. From Klein's point of view, Cattleya had the Moses Ascetic Order backing her. Edwina was from the Church of Knowledge and Wisdom. Anderson didn't know anything about Gehrman to begin with. Danitz was the only exception, with him being in West Balam and not able to return to the Golden Dream anytime soon, his weak strength, and him wearing the boxing glove that made him rash. It was worrisome. Due to this fact, Mr. Fool had to work a little harder. He gave Danitz a paper angel's embrace every day at a fixed time to prevent any divinations or prophecies about him. That's actually so nice. I wouldn't have expected that of Klein. Leonard never expected Klein to reply that quickly. He opened the letter. Due to a particular great existence's help. Is he referring to the Fool? Indeed, Klein's investigations into Inns have already reached quite a depth. He has already figured out the truth the moment I mentioned the numinous episcopate. Possessed by an evil spirit? How did he end up possessed? How do we make use of it? Worms of time. This. Leonard scanned through the last part of the letter. In his mind, Palaz Zoroast maintained his silence. Alright. I think we'll end stream there, y'all. Ramiro said a couple things, so I just checked those out. This is beautiful. Holy shit. Calderon, that looks beautiful. I will say, I don't know if I like Gregarious, but I mean, I don't know anything about her, so you know what, fair enough, but damn, this is a great great architecture. What the fuck? Good for her, man. She must have had a talented architect working for her. Is this the game, Ramiro? This is beautiful. Holy shit. This is Backland for sure, right? This seems too big to be Tingen. I thought it was a pretty good place to end too. And then tomorrow we only have 11, 12 chapters? Amon and Backland be like... Just his sheer existence makes this a fucking... I don't think that's the game. Just art? Really? That's amazing for art then. Fuck it. I apologize. Did you notice tarot gathering skipped? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Wallflower. Because it said after the tarot gathering, Klein mentioned to Cat Leia to be careful, whatever. Yeah. No. Oh, 14? Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm cooked. All right, in that case, I should definitely get some sleep. All right, we're going to end it there, everyone. As always, thank you so much for popping by and staying for the whole fucking time. Y'all are fucking goated. Love all of you. I'll catch y'all tomorrow to end Volume 4. Holy fuck, guys. Volume 4 ended. That means we are finished more than half. We're finished half the volumes, too. We're done probably 3/4 of the novel. And done half the volumes, which means we're done most of the bigger volumes then, by logic. But, yeah, that's it. Love you guys. Bye, everyone.